Feel fine collecting whatever you want, however you want, as long as you do it responsibly. Let's talk Dragon Ball, horror, kaiju, and more. Steven's Toy Reviews. Hey there, collectors, it's Steven here, and this is a topic that I kind of wanted to mull over for a little bit, and I wanted to make a video on because, you know, every once in a while the concept of gatekeeping or discussion of being insulted on something comes up in the community, and I kind of wanted to sort of encapsulate the whole topic and the idea in a video and just sort of bring it up. So I think this is kind of important because this is one of the reasons why I started STRs kind of built into the core, and I really did talk about this in my SH Monster Arts New Empire review for Godzilla and Kong, even though there were some folks who took stuff completely out of context. The ending is, and the main point, and I'm going to talk about here, is it doesn't matter what anyone says. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what your mama says. It doesn't matter what some guy in a Facebook group says. You should buy whatever you like, however you like it, as long as, you know, it's responsible. What I mean by that is, if you're having trouble paying your bills, don't go buying multiple $100s worth of stuff every month if you're gonna get evicted, okay? Please don't. Please, I'm not giving advice, just worrying about your health. Anyway, you know, I have seen some comments where folks are talking about I'm being insulted when a product is being criticized, or someone is telling me that I'm not able to purchase. Well, let's go ahead and talk about some products and talk about some comparisons, and maybe you'll walk away with a different perspective or a different outlook on some things, and maybe you'll feel validated picking up whatever you want. The first thing to touch on is there's going to be a significantly huge wide range of products that are available today, not just with Godzilla, right? We're going to talk about Dragon Ball, Evangelion, Pokemon, everything. And here I think I have a good lineup of different sorts of collectibles that we have here, whether it's going to be something that's, you know, $27, something that's going to be $35, or something that's going to be, you know, $135, $140 that are currently on the market. And they're sort of aiming to tickle the fancy of different people, whether it's going to be an action figure that's going to be, you know, pick up and play with. We're going to have something that's sort of like a Trendmasters tribute in sort of the feel, or we're going to have a high-quality collectible. Note the delivery on that. We'll come back. So with all of the sorts of different types of products that are here and that we can purchase, you know, keep in mind that some folks are only going to be able to afford or get their hands on one thing, or they're going to be able to get their hands on another. So when we have situations like that, obviously not everyone is going to be able to get everything, and likewise, maybe some people only like one sort of thing that may be presented to them. As a quick aside, I know an easy out here, and some folks may say, is going to be, oh, Steven doesn't like these. He was even very vocal about this, despite having a very significant attachment, and he doesn't like that. Anyway, so an easy out would be he only got these as a prop to return them. No, I'm kind of putting my money where my mouth is for this video. You can't return stuff to store if you don't have the boxes. So yeah, I know this is sped up just so this way we can get it, and I think it would be at the end here a dramatic effect with Godzilla's face being absorbed by fire. I think it's a nice allusion to burning Godzilla. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back to it. But now that being said, with a whole bunch of different products on the market, you're going to have folks who do like some things and who don't like some things, and that's okay. We can have difference of opinions and we can have criticism. And criticism is actually very good because criticism breeds progress, okay? That it cultivates it, it helps it grow, and helps it gets better, and helps it gets up, and this way we can move forward and we can have better for everyone, because just simply being optimistic and giving a seal of approval on anything and everything, that sort of creates a stagnant life, and that just makes you stay where you're at. Because if you have something that is not of good quality, if you have a policy or a procedure, or you have a practice that you're engaging in yourself, and you don't really go back to evaluate that to see where maybe some faults are, you're going to have some failure. And it's nice to see that even companies like Super 7, they've directly addressed, hey, we've listened to feedback, we've even gone into the production process, we've halted some things, we've changed some things because that's what fans wanted. That's good to see. Haya's even done that themselves, so that's good to see. One thing that I have noticed is that some folks will say, like for an example, I really don't care for either of these. These are not that great. Honestly, I would not buy them. Normally, I have no use for either of those. There are some folks who may take that statement and they may flip it to say that I'm saying that anyone who buys these is going to be nothing but a big old red-bootied buffoon. And that's not what I'm saying at all. That is a soundbite, though, a very interesting one. That's not what I'm saying. There is a criticism of the product that is saying that I don't like the product, and that's not a matter of attacking someone's identity. That's just saying that the product is not something that I would like to get. Now, you're probably thinking, well, what does that have to do with being comfortable with whatever I'm going to purchase? If you see people commenting things like that, and you see people talking about a feature that really isn't good, like the Monster Arts -1 head, okay, it's not good, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Why? Because that's about the product. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's about that one. Okay? It's about that. So when you see folks that are speaking negatively about something or they're talking about a criticism, you don't have to take it personally because it's not about the collector. It's about the collectible. It's not about your identity. It's not about attaching yourself to consumerism. It's about the product in a hope to push those things in a better direction, okay? So you don't have to worry about the negativity affecting what you want because you can go ahead and you can buy whatever you would like. No one has to know whatever you're purchasing. You can remove yourself from different groups. You can use the block function. Just feel comfortable purchasing whatever you would like. The next thing that I did want to touch on at least a little bit here is going to be the idea of you have people who are influencers, content creators who are going to say different things about different types of product, like this one is too expensive, this one is too much of a bad quality, this one can go fly a kite and you should buy something else. Totally get it because you're probably attaching a portion of your buying power to what somebody does or does not say. You may listen to somebody who's maybe trying to drama farm and sway you one way or another. I get it. I get it. When you have somebody who is at least presenting as a subject matter expert at minimum, you may try to find yourself aligned with them. Here's where a reviewer or somebody who is providing critique, here's where they stand. Sometimes there may be an agenda where that is what they're trying to push. That is the only type of product that they have. That is the only type of product experience that they have, and that's their own worldview. You have some who are actually trying to sway you one way or another, regardless of the product, to purchase something or try not to purchase something. And then you have folks who are trying to just talk about something as it is. Does this work? Does it not? Are the paint apps in line? Are they not? Sort of trying to take a more so objective approach to whether or not it happens. Like, for an example, if there's a crayon mark outside of the line in the coloring book, did it go out or did it not? Is it yes or is it no? That's how it is. You can't argue otherwise. So with the different types of presentation for evaluations, for reviews online, pick and choose what you do like, pick and choose what you don't. Even me, if you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to like it. If you do like it, that's great. Welcome aboard. What the point here is, though you may find subject matter experts that you like, you throw a video on in the background when you're doing the dishes, when you're folding laundry, maybe you're doing homework or you're doing your taxes, like me, that's what I do, then that's fine. It's for entertainment purposes. If you are looking to maybe get a good solid opinion, I would say go ahead and round yourself out. Yes, me, who I would encourage you to watch all of my videos, I'm even saying go watch some other content creators and reviewers and so forth, so this way you have a good idea of what you should or shouldn't buy, and you should make up your own opinion based off of that. So I'm not going to really say don't buy something or not to buy something. I'll say this is something that I wouldn't buy if I was going to be in a normal collector sphere, because as a reviewer, things are a bit different, and I may have said things along those lines, and I know in my Godzilla Kong the New Empire Monster Arts videos so far I've said buy something else. We'll touch on that in a second, but the moral of the story is be informed. Collect as much information as possible and use those pieces of information to ultimately make your decision. Here's about the last part of the video here, where it's really going to come down to what I think is a solid comparison here. And that is, every collector likes different things and prefers different flavors. The best way that I like to talk about this is definitely going to be, even with one that isn't my number one, different flavors of pop. So when it comes down to that, let's talk about the infamous cola wars, right? So we have RC, we have Pepsi, we have Coke, we have Mexican Coke. It's different. It's different. And everybody likes something that's different, but it depends on the circumstance. So let me tell you about a few different things, and maybe you'll get this idea, I think. So when we talk about different types of pop, we go to the store and we're looking to make a purchase, right? Well, when we have 12 packs that are up on the store shelves, they can range anywhere from $7.99 to $12.99, depending on where you're going. Yes, 12 packs of soda, not 24. And when you see that much, you're thinking, ooh, that's a hefty dollar bill, especially when, in 2019, we all know what happened in 2020. In 2019, you could get a single 12 pack for like $4.99 or $5.99, which was much more affordable. And when we take a look at what's going on today, if you're going to buy 12 packs, you're going to want to buy more than one. So many places have 3 for, 4 for, or 2 for deals. So generally, I'm not going to buy RC Cola. I don't like RC Cola. It doesn't taste the best for me, but big ups to RC Cola. Because of them, I literally got my undergrad degree. I did research on consumer psychology thanks to RC Cola. Besides the point. But with RC Cola, like I said, I'm not really going to pick it. It's not my favorite. But if RC Cola, and I want some cola in my household, is going to be a part of my local grocery store's 4 for $10 deal, you better bet I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up a 12 pack or two, because you know what? That quality for RC Cola that I have, that I'm like, it's not that great. If we're talking 4 for 10, that's going to be a little less than $3 for a 12 pack. I think that sells just fine. So for an example, this $35 Godzilla figure, I don't think that flies at $35. So if that 12 pack of RC Cola were to be like $7 at standard retail, you knock that down to $3, I'm going to go ahead and buy the RC Cola for that price. So if this were to be like around $20, I think that would be more fitting. But when it comes to $35, I'm not going to do that. Now, my actual preferred, it wasn't on sale, which is why I didn't get it, it's going to be Coke Zero. I like Coke Zero. It's going to be my favorite. Now, Coke Zero, normally could be $8.99, $9.99, and even then, I'm not going to get it. But if I do, for some reason, I'm not going to be happy with it at that price, because it just doesn't warrant that, especially considering that Coke does frequently have sales and offers them at a better price, even dropping it down to $7.99 frequently at my local grocery store. Why is it $9.99 this week? I have no idea, but every once in a while they'll do 2 for $10 or they'll do 3 for $14, and I think that is a better deal to get my cola of choice. So if I want to get my favorite, yeah, it may be expensive, but every once in a while we do get a sale that makes it more affordable at retail, and then I'm going to get it and I'm going to be happy. So if I'm going to end up paying, let's say $5 for a Coke 12 pack, that's good. That's reasonable. I'm okay with that, all things considered. If I'm going to be paying 10, absolutely not. That's outrageous. I'll even budge a little bit and say, you know what? I haven't had Coke in a while. It's $7. I don't really want, you know what? $7. Okay. I'll concede. It's okay. 5 is preferred. 10 is a big no-no. I'm going to have a problem with that. So hopefully that kind of makes sense for where some collectors are at when it comes to their preferences and what they do like and what they don't like, what they will buy and what they won't buy. If the price does match where they're feeling it for a collectible, then that sort of makes everyone happy, because if the perceived price of an item matches with the quality of an item, then that makes everybody happy, right? Because even if you like this at $35, if you like this at $135 and you like this at $27, you'd like it more if it was 25% off across the board, right? You would be fine with it. But somebody who doesn't like any of these at full price, they would like it more at 25% off. So that's something to keep in mind. So to make that very, very short and more so to the point, the TLDR, yes, folks may talk about criticism for these figures, but keep in mind that there may be reasons for that. Even when I make some of my reviews and I talk about how a figure is or is not. So for an example, the Monster Arts Godzilla -1. Is it a good figure? Yeah, I don't think it's too bad, but once we factor in it being about $135, it absolutely is not. If it was somewhere closer to around $95, I think it would be great, but $135, absolutely not. So do you see how that kind of works out? You may be fine with $135, you may be fine with buying a 12-pack of Coke for $10, but I'm not going to be. That is kind of where things come down to, with understanding where some collectors perceive quality, perceive value, and others do not. So to kind of put a nice bow on this video, I really think that the main points to take away are, first and foremost, there are going to be a lot of different collectibles for everyone, and though the old saying that some like to say is going to be there are products that are not made for everyone, that really isn't true, and that's going to go back to the last one. There's a lot of different products that are available, and it's the matter of accessibility for different folks. So anyone can buy any of these products, but things are more accessible to others, and that is what some folks are going to be able to get. So if you feel more comfortable picking up one of the more affordable Godzilla action figures, or one of the more affordable Dragon Stars figures, or whatever have you, then that's fine. If it generally isn't maybe all that great compared to other things, and that's the standard that they're held to or reviewed to, that's fine. If you like it, don't worry about it because you're happy with it. When it comes to the perception of somebody being attacked or so forth, maybe there's a confusion with aligning your identity with the product, and that's not something you should really do. Yes, that is a bold statement that I'm saying that some may have, but that rings true. Why? Because you change over the years, and so does the product, and so does the perception of whatever it is. So that's the product, that's not you. You are more than the product, and you change, and you have more value than what you're seeing here on the screen. You're a better person than that, and when somebody says, I don't like this, it's a bunch of dog poo-poo, they're not insulting you. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. And then, when it comes to people making reviews, people talking about a product, and positives and negatives, and trying to persuade you one way or another, you probably shouldn't just listen to one person unless you really, really do trust that one person. When it comes to reviews and different forms of content, sort of aggregate them together and form your own opinion with the information that you have and make your decision. The last one is, keep in mind that different strokes for different folks also come back to what the product offers. So it goes back to the first point where there's a whole bunch of product that's available on the market, but different collectors have different benchmarks for what they will or won't accept based on whatever it may be. And if it doesn't match up, namely price, for what they're paying versus what they're getting, that is where a lot of the discourse comes in, and the discussion for, is it good? Is it junk? Is it or not? That's where the conversation comes into place. So thank you for watching. Drop your comments down below. Again, I'm a huge proponent of folks being able to collect whatever they want and having a good time, and always just remembering that this is all meant to be fun. This is meant to be a stress reliever. This is meant to be a fun community wherever you're going to be tucking yourself away at, and just enjoy it, right? Now, quick, going back to the part about people not insulting you, but they're talking about and criticizing the figure. I do recognize that there are people that do that. Why? You're kind of an idiot if you do that. Like, come on. Knock it off. Knock it off. And I do know that some things are good sound bites to take out of context. Don't do that. Don't do that, you red-butted baboon. Okay. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate it so much. It's November, Godzilla's birth month. I'm gonna go against talking about stuff publicly, but I can only say I've got a lot of stuff planned. Thank you again for watching. I will catch ya in the next video.